Hi, in this video I'll show you how to put together the Pilgrim hat box, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So here, this is the hat band. That's the bottom of the hat. This is the box portion. And then the last one is the lid, which makes the hat. So the one thing I want to say is that this is rather large. I made it large and you can size it way down. So it is 8 by 8 by about 5 inches tall. I was trying to make it for a table centerpiece. So just be aware of that. So you can size it down, and we have videos on that on our help page. So I'm just going ahead and folding on all the score lines. This is a rather simple box to put together. And first we're going to put together the box portion, so you can just lift the top of the hat and put a little gift inside. I mean, you could make these really small and make them little treat boxes too. So I'm just lining up that right edge to the tab fold on the left. And then what's nice about this, it's 8-sided. But sometimes you can fold them flat. I know you can't see the tab very well, but I'm just adding glue to the tab. And then I'm just folding over the other side to match up. You just want to do minor adjustments to make sure it's lined up. And then that's the outside edge. So now this little piece in here, we're just going to insert it and glue the tabs on the bottom, because the tabs won't be shown because you're going to put it on that. So we don't care if the tabs are on the bottom. So you can just either flip it's easier than reaching in, is just flip all these tabs up and then add glue on the inside. I know they're not very big, but once you get that in there, you could also once you get it in there, it's going to fit and glue just fine. But you could also put the panel in before you add the glue. I just didn't do that. So just flip them up there. And of course, if you already had the panel in there, you wouldn't have to worry about too much. And then I'm just going to gently slide it in there. You could fold it a little bit to get in there. Then just guide it in so the sides, it matches up with the sides. The shape matches up right. And then what I'm doing is making sure that the edge of that panel matches up to the inside tab folds of all those tabs down there. And then applying pressure with my finger. So you just go around them really well and then look down there. Yeah, I had a little leakage, but at least we know that we're going to glue it onto that the hat brim. Since I made it to be a hat, it's going to be flat by default. So all you're going to do, you want to eyeball and center it. So it got a little glue inside, but it's not a big deal. So be careful, don't get it too close to the edge, and the reason I say that is that if you'll have a little wiggle room to move it around if you don't get it quite where you want it without the glue showing. So it's always safer to go further in when you're eyeballing something like this. And then once you have it in place where you want it to be, just go ahead and apply pressure. Just make sure you just keep on kind of applying pressure inside until you feel that it's nice and secure. So the top's going to be similar. So when you're watching this video, your tabs on this one will be a little bit bigger. After putting this together, I felt they were a little bit too small. So I made them a little bit bigger to make the top easier to glue on. But there's no need to redo the video. So we just went ahead and folded everything on the score lines. Then just like we did with the smaller box portion, we're just going to line that left edge up to the right tab fold there. And we'll do the same thing when we fold it over to glue that second tab. Like I said, I kind of made it a little bit large even half, even I think about 70% size would be a good size for a table in a way. I mean, it depends what else you have on it. But I thought, why not make it larger, and then you can always make it smaller. So again, if you go on our website, we have a help page for some of the most popular machines on how to resize the entire design. So now we're just adding glue to those tabs. I know I'm off screen right now, but you'll see it shortly. So you just want to add a somewhat generous amount of glue without really getting too much on the edge, because black will show the glue. Some glues are better than others, but I don't care what glue I've used. It's always showed a little bit, at least a shine. Just know your glue. So when you fold it over, and I'm just trying to get into view here, I'm just going to go ahead and close to the fold. Here we go. Close to the fold. I just want to go from the fold and just match up the edges as I go around. And then I just make sure that I just gently move it around until they're lined up, and apply pressure to those tabs. And when they're kind of set, I can go turn it over and apply pressure inside. And we're not going to cover that. I mean, if you're just using it for like a Thanksgiving thing. So that's essentially a hat. So now we just have to add the band. So I embossed my two pieces for the hat band. And what we'll want to do is to attach them with after we score them, with that side tab just like the other. And then before we attach that final tab, we'll want to slide on that little belt buckle. So once you have that first tab glued, I'm just going to turn it around and apply additional pressure. And then we'll go ahead and take that belt buckle and slide it over. Now the trick is you don't want to get it right in the middle, because you don't want to see that seam. So I would just take it to like the second one in or something like that. It is slightly larger than the section. I kind of just eyeballed it because I thought it went with the size of the hat. And then you can go ahead and glue the second tab. Now you simply could just, once you have this glued, just slide it over the bottom and not do anything with it if you didn't care about it. You know, it wouldn't fall off if you didn't glue it. Let's just say that. Okay, you could just do that, but if you want to glue it, you could do something like this. So this is already in there, but I'm going to add a little line of glue to glue the buckle in place so it doesn't move. But to me, I mean, you know, I think I'd be fine with it not being glued. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put the glue, where the center is. And of course, you can't put the glue on the buckle before you put it on, else you're going to slide glue all over the place. So I just kind of moved it around until it's centered in that panel. And again, it's a little bit wider than that panel. And I wanted it centered up and down too, because I have a little space. So you could do a little bead of glue. So my warning here is, if you decide to do this, you need to be right above, when you put it down, you need to be right above it, like stand right above it. So you see I got a little glue that got on there. Okay, you don't want to do that. So that's why I kind of say, well, if you want to glue it, or you can get it partially wet down and put glue in it too. I mean, that's another way to do it. So that's it, essentially. You know, but I didn't make my own flowers, but I went and got some fake flowers from a local store, and I made a little mini arrangement there. And then, you know, if you want to dress it up, you can do that. You can make your own flowers too, paper flowers. But if you want to do a quickie or you have a couple to do, I'm just going to attach it to the side here. So I have this. I'm just trying to figure out where I want it. Because I could put it on the base or side, but because the side has to lift, so I can't put it too close to the edge. So I'm just added it to the side here to give it a little bit more festive look for a table. And you can see I attached it to the side, so I'm just kind of holding it in place to make sure that it's nice and secure, so when it's lifted off it doesn't fall off. So that's it. That's my little quick Thanksgiving table piece using the Pilgrim hat box there. So I hope this comes in handy for a few, and I thank you so much for watching.